Sorry. All right, guys. Hey everybody, welcome on into the Big Access Podcast. My name is Brock Benson. I'm the Director of Marketing over here and your host. And today we've got a special guest. We have Chris Tiffany with Sprinter IT, who has come all the way from Wisconsin. He hit me up and he's like, hey, we're going to be in the area. I wanted to come say hi, and we are happy to have you.
Well, hey, great seeing you. Great meeting you in person for once. You know, we've only known each other for, I don't know, 3-4 years, something like that. So great to be here. It's a little warmer in Salt Lake than it is back home. So I'm a big fan.
Well, that's not saying a lot because it's not exactly warm here in Salt Lake either.
You know, only an inch or two of snow instead of 6 or 8. So, you know, we'll take it.
Well, you're actually on your way. We'll dive a little bit more into Sprinter IT here in a bit, but just kind of giving you a little teaser, you are on the road all the time because you guys do installations all over the country.
Yeah, we do a lot of work all over the country for corporate partners and corporate clients, other MSPs as well, but a lot of larger clients and corporate companies that want us to have just a really solid quality of install that's across all facilities, really done the same. So
that's really cool. And the fact that you were telling me earlier that you're on about 200 flights every year, right? That's insane. And so in order to be able to get to that, you have to be, really good at your job. You have to be the top level of quality, and to be, because you've got customers all over the country who want you to come and pull wire and to be able to install, their systems. And that's pretty phenomenal when you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a crazy last number of years. Just a quick little background, I guess, on Sprinter. I'll throw it in here. I started the company almost 14 years ago now out of central Wisconsin. Started in commercial IT, had retail, et cetera. Over the years, it's been a, growing thing, ever evolving. But about 5 years ago, we started pushing heavy into datacom infrastructure and security. And even the last year or so, we've delved deeper into security. We've been lucky enough, blessed enough, a lot of referrals, a lot of corporate clients that, again, just really want that symmetry, that similar exact same layouts, exact same designs across all their facilities. So we've been blessed in that range, been able to move to 50 plus employees now, and a huge chunk of ours do travel all over the country, both in trucks, so not as many fly, and now I'm slowly progressing out of the field. It's hard to run a company that's the size it is now while you're working overnights on some job site somewhere. But
your desk space isn't a lot when you're sitting on a plane either, right?
No, you can only really do so many. You can't whip out those triple monitors and work on blueprints or do whatever you got to do.
It makes it difficult. I look back at the days when I used to have like this little monitor here, and I'm like, this is great. And now here I am, right? I've got 3 monitors out, and I'm like, or the days when I have to work, remote whenever we're on site, and I'm just on a little laptop. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't get anything done. It screws up your productivity.
My executive VP just got 6 monitors now.
6?
So he's running double layers of 3, and one of my buddies, he's got 6, and he's got 3 big TVs on the opposite wall, and I'm like, that's a little excessive for me. But
one of my brothers wants to make a full circle and just be able to circle like this, and I'm just like, dude,
I can only look at so much data at once. I love looking at my PDK dashboards, but not that much.
Yeah. Well, shifting gears towards PDK and working with PDK, what was it that brought you guys to look at PDK in the first place?
I think the usability, the end user interface is really key. Kind of that UI that doesn't look like it was out of the 1980s. All right, maybe 2000. Some of them have gotten better. At the time when I initially looked over, we were doing a decent amount of GeoVision camera systems, and their access control at the time just wasn't where we were looking to be. I think they've improved now, but it really, that user interface, that user experience is really what drew me to PDK 4 years ago, 5 years ago now, whatever it has been. And then, the customer service, the technical support, et cetera, that has been ongoing has kept us there. And admittedly, we're not nearly the size of a lot of other access control companies out there. We're getting there. We've got a lot of ongoing partnerships with people like Dwello across the hall that we're doing a lot of projects with them. And so there's a lot of ongoing stuff there, but the technical support, being able to call somebody up and have somebody answer in 20, 30 seconds and be like, oh, you're an idiot. You didn't click that button. Like, I don't care. I'm good with being called an idiot. I just want to be able to find somebody I didn't spend 6 hours figuring out that I was an idiot.
Wow. Well, I guess when you put it that way, it is nice, right? I mean, at least at that point, we only wasted 45 seconds of our life instead of like the 6 hours, right? And then at that point, you're just like, man, I guess it is what it is. I'm just I didn't pull it off.
Yeah,
I didn't perform when I needed to.
That's pretty much the situation, and just having that support available, even just in pre-engineering. Heck, I called them up like last week. I'm doing a project for like 5 different sites, a bunch of different gates, and just wanted to make sure that like the design I had on it, I wasn't getting too far in my head and going like, okay, am I missing anything here? Is this the correct situation? And 2 minutes on the phone, they were like, yep, that's the equipment you need to use. That's the new models, because I had it designed with some older equipment. And, boom, here you go. And I'm like, perfect. Now I can submit that bid, order the equipment up from Jake and SS&SI over there, and like done. So just really appreciate that, because it's not that easy with a lot of other companies. And especially for somebody like us who travels so heavily all over the country, and our projects are all over the country. So not having to deal with, certain sales regions or other things like that we can just go, here's what we need, done.
That's awesome.
I love it.
I mean, that's one thing that you'll hear us say all the time here, and we say it seems like every episode on this podcast. We talk about partner fanaticism, and we really focus on making it so that you guys have a positive experience, because, ultimately when you succeed, we succeed, right? Yep. And so that's why we are centered around doing everything to make your experience better. Everything from tech support to system design and engineering, like you were saying, and even on our distribution side of things, we want to make sure our distributors have everything in stock there. So and then it even comes down to integration experiences. So you just mentioned a little bit ago, you're working with one of our partners, Dwello, who they are in the multifamily residential space. They do basically smart apartments.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate.
Pretty accurate there. So tell me a little bit about how you go about working with Dwello and PDK in conjunction with each other.
Yeah, so I mean, Dwello's got a lot of fantastic properties out there, takeovers, new construction, etc. They kind of do that whole smart apartment thing, which they kill at. That's beyond my focus there. But they're able to really design what they need, what their client needs, and then we're able to come in with PDK on that front and use everything from wireless stuff to hardwired to exterior doors, apartment doors. We're able to design all of it and then work with you guys on the front of it. So I mean, Dwello is able to kind of make the software end all work, and I am not the expert on how their software works with PDK, but it apparently works really well. So I'm good with it. I'm not an apartment complex owner, so I guess I've never sat through one of their outbound sales pitches. I know how it works from the technical side, and it rocks, but
that's good.
That's where I'm at on it. So.
That's awesome. Well, we're starting to run a little bit low on time, but before we let you go, I want you to tell me a little bit about a PDK installation that you just worked on, and kind of a problem that initially was there, and how Sprinter IT and PDK together were able to solve that problem.
Sure. So, I guess, going back to one of our earlier years, one of the projects we did was a bunch of multi-location facilities, and they had to have kind of like safe rooms or safe entries. I forget what they actually call them. And one of the biggest issues is just programming that. It got pretty complicated with time delay, ingress, and fire codes and everything else. But thankfully, we were able to reach out, over 2 or 3 days working with PDK on it to get all the programming right, to make all the doors work, the time delays work, the camera side of things work, everything else worked right. It worked. It stayed working for, up till now. Like, everything's working perfectly on it. I love it across multiple locations. So that's kind of the beauty of it. Giving the security director kind of one pane of glass to look at for all of his facilities. He loved it. So that's probably one of the biggest ones that sticks out to me, because we've got a lot of smaller ones out there that just, they're pretty basic, pretty solid. But that one had a lot of challenges and made working with you guys on it killer. So awesome. I loved it.
Well, we're happy to help out any way that we can.
Absolutely.
And again, we're partner fanatics here. We want to make sure that every one of our partners that we work with are successful, because you guys need to have good experiences out there. So
absolutely.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for jumping on the Big Access podcast today. Is there anything else that you wanted to say about Sprinter IT, or get that out there to the world?
Not necessarily. There's a lot of great groups. We're part of Technology Worldwide there. Check them out on Facebook as well and Instagram. A lot of great integrators there. And, just give us a follow on the social media and hopefully talk to and deal with you guys soon. So
perfect. Well, thank you. For those of you listening or watching on this, make sure you subscribe to this podcast. Go ahead and give it 5 stars and also leave any comments on specific episodes or things that you want to learn. And we will go ahead and see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.